Hello everyone and welcome back to Alan Wake 2. So we have a few videos left because we are really close to the end. After we complete our next objective here, which in the last video we spoke with Wallendor, and he kind of let us know that we needed to go and basically stop messing around, which lets us know that he kind of knows what we're doing and the path in which we need to follow, which I think is very interesting because he said something about meeting us later, I guess later on down the line. So, given that Alan, whenever he completes a loop, kind of forgets what he just did, it would make sense that we've gone down this path before with him. So before we head out into the wider world, I'm going to look down here in the basement for the thing that Ati said that we left, which I'm not sure exactly, but it might be something that might help us.
I couldn't force it open. These were Alice's photos. I recognized the style. One showed the clicker sinking into darkness. The other showed a light in the shape of a bullet. They were important, even if I didn't know what to do with them yet.
I'm not sure what those two things do, but I'm pretty sure that those are items that we need for the end of the game. So we're going to go ahead and keep them for now, and then whenever I guess we get the prompt to use them, we'll use them.
to a story. The story is a monster. The story will eat you alive. The darkness is coming. The darkness inside. This is my story. You're in my story. Get out of my story. You are a character in my story. You can't stop the story. This story will go on forever. There's no escape. You will never escape. You will drown here. You're stuck in a loop. You don't have a clue. You're lost. You lost the plot. I'll show you.
To get to Parliament Tower, I needed to find a murder site. Zane would know where to find one. There was no longer any sign of Casey in the alley. Things kept changing, gaining momentum, moving towards some obscured escalation.
So I have a little bit of an issue with this game. Um, my issue is that I feel like the writers didn't know how to tie the segment with Warland to the new area that we potentially are going to go to. Like, the game is fun. I have fun. It's difficult where it needs to be difficult, easy where it needs to be where it's easy, especially when you understand the mechanics of the game. But I feel like sometimes, especially this section, going back to Zane is unnecessary. Like, I know why they're using Zane as our plot device because he explains the more esoteric, creative side of like the dark place and the dark presence and all that, and duality with Alan and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like we don't necessarily need to talk with him again. Like, I feel like this section is redundant in terms of story and gameplay. Like, this could have been edited out. Like, we didn't need to go from the TV station back to where Zane is located, and then from Zane all the way back to the plaza. I feel like a good edit would have been Alan noticing that Parliament Tower is missing as soon as he escapes from the studio. And that prompts him having to go to a new section of the city to bring it back instead of going all the way over here to talk to Zane just so that he can tell us that we need to go to like a new murder site, you know?
too long. You'll end up a lost soul, haunting the streets and alleys. A faded-out shadow, glimpsed by some other poor bastard on his way toward the same fate. Your broken dreams become a broken mirror, and the twisted reflection staring back at you with all the pent-up anger, regret, guilt, and shame was the monster you could never get away from.
Something told me Zane wouldn't be happy to see me this time.
I'm in control now. The second you try anything, I will shoot you in the head. Scratch wrote return, not me. You're a fucking liar.
You'd given up. You stopped writing. You said it was too dangerous, that we didn't deserve to get out. And then he showed up. Scratch. He promised to write. To get me the hell out of here. He was magnificent. A visionary. I mean, it was art. But then, when he finished, he took return and left me behind.
It's still here, and so is he.
I know I fucked up. But you can still catch him before he gets out, before he gets to your wife. When you get to him, don't hesitate. Kill the bastard for what he did to us. There's a murder site in my cinema where my film Nightless Night is playing.
I told you not to try anything!
Oh, mercy. Thousands have gone missing, beyond the labyrinth of me. When you're lost in your own company. And cut! Oh. Now that is drama.
What the fuck? I had a million questions about Zane, but I had more pressing concerns. I had to find the movie theater Poets Cinema. The next murder site was there. Zane had created the film in tandem with Return to escape the dark place.
You have to give it to the developers, though, despite the fact that I didn't think that we needed to come this way, just because I felt that it was unnecessary and tedious. It does reflect how Alan probably feels about having to retread these areas over and over again. It does make you feel frustrated. It does make it feel tedious having to run through alleyways and streets and everything to try to figure out different routes on how to get home. So the developers, they did a good job, despite the fact that I still think that this area could have been edited out. Like, we didn't need to come this way just to talk to Zane so that we can turn around and go to the other side of the map to continue the story, you know? All right, so the theater is through here. I'm not going to really be saying anything when we get into the movie theater, just because the Echoes and Alan are going to be doing a lot of talking and sort of letting us know and setting the stages. So once I give the ticket to the attendant, we're going to go radio silent for a little bit, and then I'll see you in a few.
The cinema lobby was a gateway to other realities on the silver screen. I could set a scene here.
The question, how do you run from an idea, from a thought, from a story that lives in your head? You can't escape your fears. You carry your monsters with you. The devil runs back, it's in you. You're running right back to it. A loop. I have to stop. Stop running. Stop writing. I won't put another word. It's too dangerous. Only horror comes out of it. People get hurt. I'll let the currents of this ocean wash me away. But what if I forget why I stopped? What if I forget I stopped at all? That is fucked up. If that happens, I'll start writing again.
Did I stop writing at some point? I can't stop. There's too much at stake.
I felt like I'd been on this case, looking for the cult of the word for a lifetime or more. The only case I'd ever been on. They would surface from the dark with their depraved acts of violence and fade back into the night, leaving behind bloody crime scenes and clues heavy with obscure meanings that led nowhere. Arriving at the cinema, I felt them. monumental, terrifying revelation trembling before me, ready to open its jaws and swallow me whole.
This place had significance to the cult. There was something to use there. I was missing something. The main event was the murder. I had to find my way to it. The first step toward the murder site. I was making progress. Someone had barricaded themselves in the room. The scene here had changed.
Do you a lot of good to talk, buddy.
It was an initiation ceremony. Or so we made our new members believe. Two of New York's finest. They had performed endless favors to earn their place among us. We had something special waiting for them. And something very special for you, Alex Casey.
Who's your leader? Alan Wake? Scratch? Zane? Give me a name!
You will meet him soon enough.
There was no end to the corruption. It fit the genre, so I'd use it. The cops had gotten their 15 minutes of fame with the cult, and it had been a scream. They were the murder victims. I had to find a way into the projection booth somehow. It was locked from the other side.
Legends circling Thomas Zane were a bottomless rabbit hole. I'd done some digging. To film freaks, he was a mythic auteur in the art house cinema, a rising star coming to America from Finland. But he only created one film, Tom the Poet, before he went missing, mirroring the vanishing of the main character in the movie, played by himself. The biggest mystery was around his lost film, an early work made in Finland, Nightless Night, rumored to have mystic properties. Some claimed it was a snuff film, that the ritual murder in the film was an actual murder. There were no known surviving copies, but the cult chased it as if it were their unholy grail. Just like Wake's books were.
My writing was affecting reality.
Following your master into La La Land. A sad bunch of clowns in funny masks and hoods, pretending to be a secret society.
Maybe it is you who's playing a role, Mr. Casey. A role carefully laid out for you. A puppet blindly performing the ritual steps for the glory of the cult. Huh?
What the fuck have you been smoking?
Nightless Night. A clip of the lost film survived. You will see, Mr. Casey. In the Nightless Night, you will finally see.
Nightless Night was Zane's film. It played a role in this story.
Wake.
What is this?
Wake.
Zane was in the clip holding my lamp. Was he playing me in his film? Zane's lamp on the screen had no light. I could transfer the light from my lamp to his.
The darkness is...
The shadows melted away. I was alone. The light of the lamp shone out of the screen and revealed the door.
Wait. Alan, wake. Wake.
I was back out into the night. The seedy alley away from prying eyes was a good scene for dark deeds. Maybe I had missed something on the blackboard.
Think they're gonna want us to, like, cut off a finger or something for this initiation, do you?
Nah, I'm sure we'll just chant some ceremonial stuff. Nothing to it.
Well, it's about time. We paid our dues, made plenty of their problems disappear, dumped all those nobodies down that chute.
What we did or didn't do, it's all behind us now. We're going straight to the top, partner.
Yep, like we died and went to heaven.
I knew I was making progress. I had to keep going. The scene had changed. Someone had fallen to their death from the rooftop.
Wake. Alan, wake.
So, obviously, investigation wise, we're going after Mulligan and Thornton. The reason being is because they're the only ones that we haven't seen or gotten an item from in an Allen chapter yet. So deductions are Mulligan and Thornton are the murder victims, and the item that's going to appear in the real world to help Saga is the moose head, because it appears on the side of the well, kind of like the heart appearing inside the cooler and the record appearing in the bathtub. Those are all things that basically Alan interacted with in the dark place that disappeared when we touched it. and got sent to Saga. If that's the case, if we're investigating Mulligan and Thornton so that we can get a moose head from them, then I feel like the developers, instead of trying to go, this is dream logic, so it's not supposed to make sense because you're in the dark place and the dark place doesn't make sense. Instead of doing that, then they should have just only made Allen chapters the ones that we played at the very beginning after we finished with Saga's portion as an FBI agent, and basically we're interviewing Alan to find out what happened to him and where he was, and then do her chapters after. Because right now, I feel like investigating Mulligan and Thornton after we've already defeated them as Saga doesn't make sense. Like, if the hotel and this section were switched, it would make a lot more sense to me than it does right now.
The police car felt important to the story. The answer was close. Straight to the top. The dirty cops looked down on the city. Their city. They had committed repulsive deeds to get there. They told themselves it was worth it. It could not be opened on this side. the scene changed with the story. It was locked from the other side.
Wait.
Don't you fucking move, or I'll blow you away.
You got me, Mr. Casey. I'm all yours. Go ahead. Ask that burning question in your mind.
How did you do it? How did you get me into that film clip without my remembering it? Talk to me, damn it!
You've seen the film? Good, good. Now you're ready to meet the Grandmaster. He's waiting for you in the projection booth, where everything will be revealed, where he will project a new reality onto this one. And now, Mr. Casey, I've played my part to the end.
No, no, no! Crazy bastard! Why'd he jump?
A projection booth. Was that where I find the murder site?
So we are almost done with our investigation into the theater. We just have to head back to the projection room, which should hopefully be open now, and confront or see the echoes of Casey confronting the Grandmaster and go from there. So let's make our way back inside.
Hey, Alan. Tim Breaker. In case you don't remember again.
I know, Tim. I'm remembering more now.
It's good to hear, man.
How's your search for Mr. Door going?
It's not great. This dream we're in. Putting a lot of roadblocks in my way.
So you think this is a dream?
I'm not ruling it out. You know, my dreams have always been incredibly vivid. They feel real until the second I wake up. In dreams, I'm often someone else. Different person, with a different name, living a different life in a different world. Alternate realities, maybe. But certain things don't change. Like the door.
The sketch you have does look like the door I know. The talk show host.
All I know is the door has something to do with what's happening to me. And he knows that I know. He's like some sadistic mastermind torturing me.
I wonder if this is just overall an Easter egg for Quantum Break, which came out after Alan Wake 1 and between Control. There wasn't really any reference to Quantum Break in Control, but on this board he talks about a red-haired woman, and in Quantum Break, there was sort of like a stepping through different realities. That was like the goal of like a couple of people. So I'm wondering if this is just a reference to that, and that if we do get like a sequel to Quantum Break, or we get a sequel to Control, that there would be mentions of things that happened in Alan Wake 2. But only time will tell. Hopefully, we get sequels to those games. So, thank you so much for joining us. I'm enjoying the game despite my complaints. I just wish that certain sequences were a little bit different, but that's just me. I'm not sure if anybody else kind of felt the same or were a little bit confused, but that's okay. We're going to continue our investigation into the next video where we confront the Grandmaster, and then from there, we're going to continue on as a saga after we go into Parliament Towers. So I hope that you're enjoying this, and I will see you later. Bye.
Thousands have gone missing, beyond the labyrinth of me. When you're lost in your own company. And cut! Oh. Now that is drama.